Boys, welcome back to another video. So that is going to be the first of 2 sessions there wrapped up in which you will see in this gym today. That right there was 1 mile repeats. We done 5 times 1 mile at high threshold pace. So for me that is 4:10 pace with 90 seconds walking rest in between each round. Felt good, felt really good. I know I blabber on about this each and every video, but the running's really coming along. I feel like I've actually built the skill and technique around it now to the point where running is just feeling like an absolute breeze. I feel like by the end of this year, I'm going to be a respectable runner. I always thought with HYROX I would almost lean more towards the stations and dominate on the stations as such, but I do believe that I have the potential to be a very good runner with that. It did come very natural to me to begin with. I've never really picked up any running injuries, anything like that. I don't really accumulate too much fatigue in the legs, and of course that comes with smart training as well. But for a bigger guy, a guy that came from a bodybuilding background, I would say running came quite natural to me. Maybe I was always meant to be a runner. Maybe I was always meant to be a HYROX athlete. Maybe this is what I'm meant to be doing. Who knows? I guess we'll find out, because we are, I say 1 week out, it is 1 week until we fly out to Istanbul for HYROX Istanbul, you guessed it, where I will be doing my 4th open solo and my 2nd doubles with Reese. Technically my 3rd doubles, but my 2nd doubles with Reese, where we will be looking to go flag hunting. So yeah, really excited for that. Feeling great at the minute. This is the last heavy week of training prior to tapering down a little bit next week and just getting some priming sessions in prior to race weekend. But yeah, obviously we've set some big expectations. We want to come home with a flag, a doubles flag for sure. Is a solo flag in the question? Who knows, we'll have to see. But I feel like with the training block in which I've had since Cardiff to now, and actually doing everything right, ticking all the boxes, making sure that I'm absolutely on top of everything, I feel like this race, this weekend, is really going to dictate where I'm kind of at with it, or at least where my potential is to go with this. So yeah, excited. But anyway, I'm going to head home, grab my meal one. Speak soon. Oh, boys. Right, boys. So we have just completed pre-script nutrition. Absolutely buzzing with that. That is pre-script level 1 boxed off this year now, and pre-script nutrition. 2 major goals in which I wanted to complete there. So yeah, despite the fact that I've completed pre-script nutrition, I will wake up bright and early tomorrow morning and go through the course yet again, and go through that twice, as did I with pre-script level 1. Main reason being is because you often don't need to be told something new. You just need to be reminded, and it's never going to sink in the first time. So no matter what I do or where I look to invest into my education to become a better coach and master the craft, I will always go through things multiple times in order for that information to sink in, and of course as well, go off and apply it, because if you're not applying it, you're never truly going to learn. Top tip for you there, write that one down. But anyway, I'm going to be heading off to the gym soon. I say that, I'm literally going to pack my bag and head off now, but we are going to be in for upper bodybuilding today. Slightly different to the session in which you would have seen last week, so be sure to take you through that. See you there. I did say, didn't I, that I would be up bright and early the following morning to go back through pre-script nutrition again, or at least start to go back through pre-script nutrition again. And that's exactly what I've done. So as you can see, we were at the gym bright and early this morning. Well, you wouldn't have seen that we were there bright and early, but we were. We got there at about 5:30 a.m, I want to say, for just 60-minute bike recovery, and that is all we're doing today because we have the half sim tomorrow in which we want quality for. So therefore, today is literally just 60 minutes bike recovery, and then we are resting up for this evening. Do have work, of course, as I always do. Friday tends to be a little bit more of a cool/education day. So I took myself to a coffee shop. As you can see, we're in a Costa, and I started going through a few of the pre-script nutrition modules again. Now I'm going to head home and get myself set up for an evening of consultation calls, which I believe we have 5 this evening. So a busy one. And that being said, if you do want to find out a little bit more in and around my online coaching and what we do at NewGen, then you can hit the link in the bio. There will be a bio there, and we can talk a little bit further. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the rest of today. I'll pick up the camera if I feel like there's anything in which I want to speak around, but the likelihood is I will see you at the half sim tomorrow morning. I want to say we're going to get ready for a full sim, but it's not. The coach wants us to go in at 80% capacity, because if we go in too hot, that will affect race day the following weekend. Less than a week now until we fly out to Istanbul. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. But anyway, see you tomorrow morning. Right, boys, it is the following day and we are at the gym ready to send the half sim. All in all, not really sure what time I should be aiming for or anything like that. The coach hasn't given any sort of detail. I think we're just going to look to ultimately lap the watch each and every run, each and every station, so that way we get an understanding for where I'm strong and where I'm weaker, and ultimately we know kind of what to focus on from there, going from Istanbul into Athens. But this is like the first sim I've done with Steve. So after now 2 training blocks, main focus really being aerobic development, this is going to kind of give us a bigger picture of where we're at and I suppose what needs improving. But he's literally just told me half sim, eat prior, go in 80% of your max effort, otherwise that will ruin race day, and lap your watch at each and every run, each and every station, so that way we can see the full split. So yeah, ultimately that's that there. But what is exciting as well is that we have got the new race day trainers with us, which we're gonna have a little tester of today. Look at them, absolutely fucking beautiful. Oh, they are clean. The good thing about the half sim today is that we are going to get a chance to break in the new race day trainers. These will most likely be our new race days for at least the next 3-4 races, because we will be training in them in between, and every 300k that you run in carbon plates, well, put in a new carbon plate or get a new pair of trainers. Me being me, I just get a new pair of trainers. So we likely will be in a different pair of carbon plates come XL, or even if I decide that I don't get on with these and I need a new pair by Athens. But these, from what I understand, are virtually the race day version of these, or these are the daily version of these, whichever way you want to look at it. So I do love the Puma Pure Nitros for my dailies. But that being said, I was umming and ahhing about getting a pair of Adidas Pro 4s, because I do love my Adidas Evo SLs, and the Pro 4s are essentially the race day version of the SLs. So yeah, I was going to get a pair of them, but they didn't have them in my size, so I decided to grab these instead. They did have a newer colorway out. They had a blue colorway, but not only were my Puma Elite 3s blue, but the blue colorway was just ugly as fuck. So, and I really did like these pink ones. I really did like these pink ones. Is it just me as well? Like, since I was a kid, I've just loved the fucking smell of fresh trainers. Like, that was the best part about getting a new pair of football boots when you were a kid. It was just the smell of them until you play that first game, and then they're just stinky as fuck from there. So yeah, excited to give these a spin. In regards to the sim as a whole, I'm not going to film it because I want this to be as accurate as possible in regards to the data collection for me and Steve. So I'm just going to pop the camera away. I'm going to focus on doing this sim to the best of my ability, so that way the transition between the stations, the runs are as clean as possible. I'm not fucking about with the camera. So like I say, I can lap my watch at each and every station, each and every run, and ultimately get as much accurate data collection for Steve as possible because I'm a good client. So yeah, I'll have to see you after the sim, sorry. Right, all right boys, so there was the half sim. Time 32:14, so not too bad. I'm not really sure where that leaves me or what potentially the solo time may be for Istanbul. I suppose I'll run that over with the coach. I can't say it was mega accurate because obviously it was very frustrating having to set up a treadmill each and every time to go for the 500 meter run. So I suppose you could shave a few minutes off of that. But all in all, felt good, feeling fit. I think I'm a slight bit heavier than what I was at Marbella though. I'm certainly not looking as lean, which is odd because diet's been on point, but I don't know. We've got a week until Istanbul now, and I could definitely probably do with dropping another kilo in order just to feel a little bit lighter on my feet. But the new shoes feel mega, absolutely mega. Very, very happy with them. So yeah, I think it's safe to say the Nitro Elite 4s are certainly going to be my new race days from here. Don't even think I'd touch a pair of Adidas or Nike after that. But yeah, they felt really, really good, especially for the lunges as well. The stability, I've never felt stability like that in my lunges. Yeah, happy with them. Right, all right, gents, it is the following day. Let me just kick my feet up and we will have a little chat. So, touch base with the coach after the half sim, and he's really, really happy with the data collection in which we got there and overall the result. I think I might have mentioned in the last clip, I was like, oh, you know, would have rather have had sub 30. I think that would have been quite impressive, say, etc., etc. Despite the fact that we weren't really going for time, we were more just trying to hold pace on the runs, go into the stations at 80% max effort, and just try and get the data collection from there. The data collection in which we wanted was, right, where did average heart rate sit and where did my heart rate sit on each run, each station, etc., etc., which I think average heart rate throughout was 141, and my heart rate didn't spike above, I think, 153 throughout. So what Steve took from that was, oh, Finn is as fit as what we thought he was. And of course, race conditions are going to be completely different. I say there I wanted a sub 30 because I thought that would set me up nicely for potentially a sub 60 solo. I think a sub 60 solo is very highly unlikely. I think sub 65 is what I should be aiming for, and that is what I will aim for. But I'd be buzzing with a sub 60 regardless. If not, we'll get it in Athens without a doubt. But Steve's happy. That's the main thing. As long as he's happy, then I'm happy, right? He assessed my heart rate throughout and he's happy. He's like, yes, you are as fit as what we thought you were. So all in all, everything is set up nicely now, and I feel a hell of a lot more calm and relaxed heading into peak week. I'm sure peak week isn't the term for 1 week out from a race, but it's a bodybuilding analogy, so I'm going to use it regardless. Anyway, next week is race week, and I am fucking buzzing, just so fucking excited. Cannot wait. Like, I'm so gassed, so gassed for this. And to think I've pretty much got a race locked in each and every month for the rest of this year, other than November, which I could still lock in a race come November if I want. I was hoping that it was going to be Abu Dhabi in the UAE, because I'm likely going to be in Dubai September, October, November after Athens, and then coming back to the UK for a week in October for Birmingham, prior to then going back out to November just to touch base with Ben, Rye, get locked in, train with them, get some great content, etc., etc. But obviously with everything going on, they haven't released the dates for Abu Dhabi, and I highly doubt it's going to go ahead. I highly doubt it's going to go ahead, but we'll see. If it does happen in November, I'll be sure to get that locked in prior to XL. And with that as well, we also do have XL now locked in for December. My first pro solo and another pro doubles with Reese, because if I didn't already tell you, at Athens, which I literally found out earlier today, apparently this is the first ever HYROX event in which they're holding in Greece, which is just nuts. I'm doing an open solo there and then a pro doubles with Reese the day after, so that will be our first pro doubles together, and that will be our first attempt at a world championship qualification for next year. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to document, a journey in which I'm going to take you on, and that's ultimately what this YouTube channel is going to be in and around. It's just the journey That's why I wanted to start it originally. I wanted to start creating content because I wanted to ultimately document the journey, take people along with me, and whoever was interested to follow along, they can. Of course, I want to educate along the way, and I will do, because that is always a huge part of it for me as well. Being a coach, I love to educate and I want people to learn off of me, but at the same time, I love fucking doing cool shit and documenting it. So I'm just going to blend the two. I'm going to do cool shit, document it, and educate along the way. But with that being said, that's everything for this video. See you in the next one.